Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, December 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol NUKK. And another absolute huge move today. To think that not that long ago, this thing was down below $10. Now it went up as high into the 80s. So just crazy movement and a bit of a pullback here. But what I find interesting about all this is even with all these pullbacks, notice what's happening with these highs, or excuse me, the lows. The lows keep getting higher and higher. So from the bigger picture standpoint, there is still progress being made. Now, I understand that you don't really care about the progress if you're a day trader and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 3 minutes. From that standpoint, yes, you don't care about these overall stair-steps and progress being made. But just kind of pointing that out from the general sense of things, that with all the volatility, the price is still building those higher lows. So as far as key areas of resistance as we head into Friday, I think the key level here that a lot of people will be watching is that trend line right there. And I make that comment about a lot of people watching because when there are lots of people watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some dynamic movement. So no such thing as a guarantee, but certainly valid to think that if the price comes up here and pushes through there, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure. So keep an eye on that. And then just from a support and pullback standpoint, let me change that to green for support. Definitely an interesting level if there is any sort of deeper pullback right around that former breakout area down there around the 37.75 mark. But I think the most interesting dynamic is all about that trend line right there and whether or not the bulls can get the push up through there on Friday. Next one here, TNXP. Nice mover today. Things came back to nice very nicely. Was pretty quiet and then up it went. Very nice move. A bit of a pullback, sure. So to be fair, there has been a bit of a pullback, which you can see with this little wedge formation there. But the factor that you have to keep in mind is that the price ultimately was all the way down there. So with that move up, what we have here is kind of a bootleg looking bull pennant pattern. I'll try to make it a little bit more clear. But as far as key technical levels, the area that ideally you want to see continue to hold strong is that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. You can see so far so good. Beautiful job of respecting that and bouncing from there as time has gone by. So keep a close eye on that. And then in terms of areas of resistance, if the price does try to head back upwards, let me zoom things out here a little bit more. Definitely the key area right around this point at the 72-cent mark, which does make sense when you go back into the history of things. I guess you can kind of see that. Let's move it over. Just there we go, behind my ugly mug. But right there you can see that was a problem area, and then you fast forward to today, and once again was a problem area. That's not to say that 72 cents can't be broken. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is struggling at that area, and that moving forward, that'll be a key breakout point. But all things considered, nice movement today. Got the bull pennant pattern. We'll see if the price can get more continuation on Friday. Next one here, RGTI. And again, a tricky one to talk about because it really is all about perspective. So for you day traders that bought right there, or maybe bought the dip right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 4 minutes, yes, from that standpoint, things are looking really bad. And even from a medium-term standpoint, things are starting to look shaky because the price is now down below that purple line there, 50-period moving average, and it has not been down below there for quite a while. And not only is it below it, it's quite a bit below it. Right there, for example, sure, the price dropped below it, but at least stayed within the range of it. Same with right here. Dropped below it, but stayed within the range. But right here, there was no staying within the range. It really pulled back quite a bit. But the reason why I'm still giving the advantage to the bulls right now is the price is still above that pink line there, the 200-period moving average, currently valued at 572. But if the price were to drop below there, that means that something is severely wrong and the overall trend would officially be broken at that point in time. So as of right now, the short-term trend is broken. The medium-term trend is broken. Medium-term being defined as that purple line there. But the long-term trend is still bullish because the price is still above that pink line there. But yeah, you certainly want to see the price maintain above it. Next one here, SOUN. I'm going to go through this one quicker because it's essentially mimicking what I just talked about. although not quite as much, because in this situation, notice the price, yes, it is down below that purple line there, bigger pullback, but it's at least still relatively close to it. Whereas the one we just looked at had gotten, that obvious separation to the downside. So this medium-term trend isn't nearly as broken as the previous one, but the overall trend is still plenty intact for that same reason. The price is above that pink line there. That's got a nice upward slope to it. And once more, that pink line being the 200 period moving average. And just to reiterate, yes, I realize for you day traders out there that bought right there, there's nothing bullish that I can say. But what I can say is the overall trend is still bullish, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view. But overall, yeah, big pullback here, but overall trend is still in the bullish direction. And I apologize for saying overall so much, but I'm just trying to drive home that there's a couple different vantage points I'm talking about. From the day trading standpoint, yeah, nothing matters. But from the overall standpoint, that's a different category of people. I'm just trying to distinguish that, but I realize I probably said overall a little bit too many times. But next one here, ticker symbol NVDA. And it's hanging in there. Very, very rough movement right there going back to yesterday, and then today a nice bounce. It did roll back over, but what I'm really starting to wonder and thinking will probably be happening is just some sort of bigger sideways channel as the market determines what it wants to do as we head into the new year. The bigger picture channel being defined as the bottom part of its support right down there at 127.20, which I've talked about in past videos, and then the top of the channel being the pink line up there, the 200 period moving average. You can already see a couple of times the price has gotten close to it right there and then got rejected back down. Once again, got close to it, rejected back down. So that's a situation where, if the price does get back up there, it doesn't mean that it'll for sure get rejected back down. But given the recent history of things, it's at least a plausible thought. So that's kind of my big question mark moving forward is that's what's going to happen. Now, maybe we get an answer on Friday and the price either explodes to the upside or explodes to the downside and there is no more channel. But right now, that's seemingly what has a high likelihood of happening, just kind of chopping around back between those two levels. But we'll see how the next several days play out. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use. Or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage there you can use to sign up. So definitely do that. But one special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple situations, maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening. Maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you totally missed it. Go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay so you can watch it at your convenience. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, ticker symbol QUBT, and like a lot of these other ones, we've got a bit of a pullback, so it's all about the different categories. If you're some sort of in the day trader category that bought right there or bought the dip right there, then yeah, from that angle, everything is a train wreck for you. But if you do care about the bigger picture, yeah, the price is still in the overall uptrend. Medium-term trend has been broken as the price has now gotten quite a bit below the purple line, although as I speak right now, last 30 minutes, starting to show some green, but yes, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But from the big picture standpoint, got to still give the advantage to the bulls because the price is still above that overall moving average, which you now know is the 200 period simple moving average. So as of, and I mean, if you wanted to really, in all actuality, so we have that big pullback here, but where is the price at before the pullback? Well, the price was down here before moving all the way up here. So in this situation, again, assuming you care about the overall big picture, we have a multi-day bull flag pattern. Next one here, ticker symbol KULR, and I like this one quite a bit as it's got some of those well-defined areas that I think a lot of people will be watching, which goes back to the whole idea of lots of people watching the same levels, wondering the same thing. Could definitely create some good, solid, movement, even if it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. So let me get these areas mapped out here. So we have that as a support, or excuse me, that as a resistance, and this right here as a support. So I think a lot of people have taken notice of this little wedge, and no need to overcomplicate this stuff. So this wedge leads to the question, who's ultimately going to win out? Who's going to, as space is running out, you can see a decision is going to need to be made. So do the bulls win with a break to the upside? Do the bears win with a break to the downside? We're going to get our answer on Friday. It's just more so a question of when the break happens, is there going to be any sort of momentum, behind it? Or is it going to be one of these really choppy messes? Or is it going to be enough people watching it, and when the break happens, it's just going to be, even if it is that self-fulfilling prophecy, a nice smooth break in either direction. So if you like wedges, if you like this price range, then definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, QBTS, and I'm going to go through this even quicker than the other ones because it's the same exact story. Great move up, big move down. So yes, if you cared about the big picture standpoint, everything is still hanging in there. But if you're some sort of day trader, depending on where you bought, then yeah, this could be an absolute train wreck for you. So yeah, so short-term trend, not so good. Medium-term trend, not so good as the price is below that purple line. But big picture trend, still okay. because the price is above that purple line there. And then as I started off, you can maybe already see it, but we still do have, again, from the big picture, a bull flag pattern. So these sorts of situations right now really do just boil back to what was your game plan going in. Were you going into were you in the category of a day trader, or in the category of somebody that cares about more so the bigger picture? So that's where, you're gonna have to make that differentiation to figure out, is this a bad or good looking chart for you? Next one here, BPTH. Now, this is just an ugly looking chart, but for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly, but I mean, you stop to think about it, that the price opened up here. Some poor souls were buying right there. Hopefully they were using stop losses. And then the price came all the way down here, did get a bit of a bounce, but is now rolling back over. But this is where I find it intriguing. Maybe you don't find this intriguing. Totally fine. I would assume then this one's not going to be on your watch list. But moving forward, is there some sort of double bottom in the future of this chart? Because this area right here is already proven to once be an area where the buyers were hanging out. And, these buyers down here stopped a tidal wave of downwards momentum. I mean, this thing was going really, really nasty. Then right there, it stopped back up. Yes, some sellers have shown back up. So the question just boils back to, are those buyers still there? Are there enough of them still there to not only support the price, but get a bounce back in the upwards direction? Now, maybe they're not. That's why risk management matters. But if they are there, and then you could be looking at a very nice risk versus reward scenario. So if you like these sorts of kind of opportunity in the ugly circumstances, and you can be a disciplined trader, then keep an eye on it. Next one here, PRFX. Very well-defined levels here. And going back to the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, you got to like that. So the first area here that you got to think all sorts of people are watching is a trend line, a line right around that area. Maybe not that exact same one, but something very, very close. So yes, it means no guarantees, but certainly valid to think if the price goes up there and pushes up through there, that break could in of itself, create additional buying pressure. So keep an eye on that. And then in terms of areas of support, main level to watch down here at that area around 975, you can see 3 separate occasions, price was down there, and to give credit's due, every single time the buyer stepped back in. And then just from a pattern standpoint, if we keep this one color to make it easier to see, resistance, support, nice move up right there. You can call this a bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. But big mover today, has the ability to move quickly, and with the market environment, having some of these other stocks moving very, very bigly, is this thing just getting consolidated before another move up? We'll see what happens on Friday. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a moment, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be this evening, Thursday, December 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you can't make it live for whatever reason, like I mentioned earlier, go ahead and send me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification, I am now on the 4-hour time frame. So instead of each one of these candlesticks representing 30 minutes, each one represents 4 hours. And I like to do that because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So in order for this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible, when I can use these broader time frames, that'll make that easier to see and keep this video relevant for as long as possible. But so I'm going to just walk you through some questions, and based on how you answer those questions, that'll dictate the current status of things. But as right now, as I speak, another 4-hour session right here of a whole lot of downwards pressure. The price is now down below that pink line there, so not the greatest of signs. But let's just say you're watching this video 15 hours after I upload it. Question number one that you need to start with is, where is the price at relative to 94,200? As long as you're saying the price is above that level, then that's a good thing, because that implies that at least the price is maintaining above this pretty, actually, zoom down, this pretty historic area that has held as support there. So if the price is above there, then like I said, from a bigger picture, it's still in this upper, wider range of consolidation. Now, if you're saying, actually, Clay, I'm watching it right now and the price is down below that area, this is where common sense kicks in. Well, how far down below is it? The further down below, the worse and worse things have become for the bulls within the context of the situation. So no need to overcomplicate that. Now, if you're saying, well, yeah, Clay, the price is still above 94,200. Next question is, okay, well, where's the price at relative to that purple line, which I talked about previously, 50 period moving average. If you're saying the price is above there, then that is a great sign, because that would imply that this current downwards move has not only stopped, not only bounced, but bounced up strong enough to push up through that area. That would be a great sign. Or maybe you're just saying, well, Clay, actually the price is down below there, but it is above there. So in other words, the price is somewhere between these two areas. And that would be a very neutral situation of consolidation, and something where, given the context of things, I would argue is a good thing, because at least that would imply the price has stopped going down, which is all it's basically been doing the past couple of days. So keep around those levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this analysis relevant until I'm back to update it again. And as NVDA the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for the free class, because what you'll learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So as I mentioned, it'll be this evening, Thursday, December 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. If you can't make it live for whatever reason, then as mentioned earlier, go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com. So that way you can watch it at your convenience. But if you can't make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a bit. So if you appreciate these videos, if you enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thanks for watching.